Not going to do me much good to look at this ridiculous NCAA. I'm disappointed in how we played. I thought we did another horrendous job at the beginning of the game. I don't know how many turnovers we ended up with. 17, but we had 11 or 12 in the first half. I had a couple guys that probably played some of their best basketball. Cash just played pretty well. Kenny Goins, I thought did an excellent job, but we missed layups, we missed 1-and-1 free throws. Felt sorry for Foster. He made 117 free throws in a row in high school, and it just didn't work out tonight. But the couple of plays we made, and we had the ball with 30 seconds left, and we turned it over, and then you know, we had a play called, and we just didn't execute as well. But the second half, I thought Josh played better. I thought we executed better. You know, it's a good team. Good team, big team. And our number one key was not to get them to the foul line. And we did a hell of a job. They shot 41 of them. And I can't even blame the officials, except I'll never understand them, the breakaway. But other than that, it's our fault, not theirs. Questions?
Tom, over to your right here. With a lot of performances from guys tonight that you could look back and say, well, that was really good tonight, but kind of comparing it with a lot of the mistakes you made, the free throw misses, the turnovers. Is this one of these examples where, you know, Mark D'Antonio talks a lot about the difference between winning and losing being razor thin. Is this one of these things that after tonight you can look back and say, here you go, guys, this is why every single play matters, every possession
Inches, you know, inches. I mean, poor Xavier, who I thought played his tail off, you know. I mean, why are you trying to dunk that, you know? Just lay it in. And, you know, we did. It was a game of inches, and Josh had that rebound, and we just hold on to it. We got a timeout. And, we just did some things that weren't good enough to win. So yeah, it's a game of inches, and the inches, we didn't value the inches. And give them credit, they had some shots, made some plays, and yet they give us credit when Cassius went out, and we hung in there trying to throw a couple different lineups in there, and we needed an offensive lineup, we needed a defensive lineup. Just made some uncharacteristic, ridiculous plays, fouling a guy 35 feet from the basket and things like that. Or you can't do that if you're going to win at this level, especially on the road against a good team, and it is a good team. You know, they should have beat Marquette. You know, gave Tennessee a hell of a game, so it's a very good basketball team, and so are we. But tonight we didn't do the little things, as you said. Maybe we'll learn from it, maybe we won't.
Coach, speaking of Cassius, you had to go up without your quarterback for a lot down the stretch. 18 points were scored by Louisville off 17 turnovers. You talk about how much was that, and how much did the crowd really factor into this tonight?
No insult, but great crowd, but not any different than any other Big Ten crowd, that's for sure. I mean, I didn't think the crowd bothered our players. I thought our players bothered our players. You know, we just did not look sharp, did not do the things we needed to do. The turnovers early were, again, kind of ridiculous. And that's a shame, because you can't overcome that. And then, you know, free throw shooting, what did we end up?
14 to 23.
Since you media guys are like, you know, you guys are so good at analyzing things. Does anybody feel, can you guys, huh?
I don't like
write some. Hey, what about, you probably will about me tomorrow, so write something that'll straighten that out, so we can all read them and we can all feel better. How many?
14 and 23, 4 of 10 after the half.
And what were they at?
30 of 41.
That's a difference in the game too, so a lot of reasons we lost the game. We have to take responsibility for them. When we did execute, I thought we got some good shots and good plays. I thought Josh played really well the second half. We ran some things for him, got him some shots, and just didn't play well enough to win.
What was the game plan on McMahon, and
guarding?
why do you think he was so...
Surprise, huh?
Yeah, why do you think he was so effective?
Nobody guarded him. You know, Foster struggles to guard, and had some guys early that didn't guard him, but he had 9 points, 3 threes in the first half that, we told him the range is unlimited and 3 feet behind the NBA three, and we just didn't guard him. So give him credit, he made him. Give us blame, we didn't guard him.
How challenging of a situation is that for Barca to go in at that point in the game, how little college basketball he's played, and how much...
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for all the freshmen, Personally, I think Foster will make 99 out of 100 free throws, and unfortunately, he just missed that one. Defensively, he's got a lot of work to do, but the last thing I would expect is, he missed the free throw, and yet, hey, the kid had a lot of pressure on him, and he went up and missed the free throw, I missed one in high school myself, so I understand how that is, and I feel sorry for him because he is not a great free throw shooter. He's a prolific free throw shooter. I mean, I think his record in the state is 117 or 138 in a row. So just wasn't our night.
Gabe Brown, what you saw from him, those 2 shots, obviously didn't look like he hesitated. An important night for him.
Boy, I really appreciate you guys because I'm not very happy the way we played, and instead of you jumping on me, you're trying to find a silver lining, and I appreciate that. I thought we did get something out of Gabe. I just thought that our freshmen did look like freshmen, and yet there's nothing like a good experience to go on the road and lose a tough game when, as you say, the inches matter. Usually that'll make you make practices a little better on what you talk about, or film sessions on what you explain and what's going to happen. So I think, Gabe learned something. It's not the offense of those guys. They've got to learn how to guard some people. And all of them struggled in that area. But I don't want to undershadow, Goins and Kyle Arns, played his tail off, played more minutes than he's ever played in his life, and played hard. And Kenny was good, and X played very good. Xavier played very good. He just, missed a layup. And you'd have to be in a practice from all coaches. Whenever you do the layup line, which every coach does every minute, start every practice, and every coach says layups cost you guys games. But maybe I'll just keep rewinding those things. Free throws cost you games. Those are things you have more control over. And yet, I thought Louisville was a very good team. I'll be honest, when we were 6 down at halftime, I was surprised, or whatever we were down, because I didn't think we played very good. I don't know, he thought they played, but he's got a good team. He's got a lot of people to bring in, and got some size. He's got a little bit of everything.
Tom, I'll bring you down then a little bit. Is it in that last minute of regulation when you get the stop and Josh has the ball, and it's one of your more experienced guys who gives the ball up at that point, how difficult is that?
Well, I got to take the blame for that because I must not have done a good enough job in the timeout of telling him we had another timeout if he gets at all trapped. So I think I'll take the blame for that one. And, I think he wished he would have had that back, but at the same time, I've got to do a better job.
Tom, it isn't an excuse, you haven't even mentioned it, but the fact that McQuaid wasn't here, Cash looked exhausted. Can you talk about Cash's effort? Because clearly he gave it, and an update on McQuaid, please.
Yeah, Cash did, and McQuaid, I told Mark D'Antonio all year that it's really great of coaches, the way we say that next man up all the time. I always say if the next man up was as good as the guy that we lost, he'd have been a starter. So I'm not trying to fool anybody. McQuaid was our best defensive player by far. He's played the most minutes on our team this year, and it was a loss. But really his replacement did pretty well. What he did is he got hit in the last minute of the game against Texas, 2 minutes, minute and a half. Didn't think nothing of it. He got hit in the thigh, and took a shower, no problems. Took a bus ride, no problems. Got on the plane, and must have been bleeding. It must have been bruised bad, and it was bleeding, and it swelled up. And I'm sure then the altitude didn't help it because we were on a 3.5-hour flight back. So, he's day to day. I mean, I I think once the swelling goes down, he'll be okay. There's nothing wrong. It's not a bone bruise or anything like that, but it just depends how long the swelling stays in there to see if it atrophies or whatever. I don't know. You can ask our medical people about that. I don't feel like a very good coach right now, so I'm sure as hell not a very good medical guy.
Take one final one here.
When Stephen Enoch picked up some early fouls and they were, using him only in limited minutes, were you surprised at how effective Malik Williams and Okoye Gal were for them down low?
Yeah, I like Gal, and Williams hit a couple of shots, and, I thought they were pretty effective. They did a pretty good job of clamping down on Nick. We did a poor job of getting him the ball early, did a better job late. Those two guys got some experience. They've been around, and I thought they did a very good job. Noara is a very good player, but those little guards gave us fits, especially when Cassius went out. And so I should be more pleased by the way we handled them. I don't know, when did he foul out?
4:01 left.
Us. So that's 9 minutes of a game. That's a lot to go ahead and then behind and then ahead and behind. And I think that it's just a shame that we didn't do the little things down the stretch. Maybe we could have won it. Maybe they would have countered. So you got a good team in Louisville here, and they did a good job. And I don't feel like we didn't play at all. I just didn't think you saw us play as good as we can play. And again, maybe they didn't play as well as they can play. So we'll learn from it. We'll do what you said. We'll try to use this as a teaching moment and see if we can get better, because our road gets no easier. We still go home, then go back on a road in a day to Rutgers, and then come home and play another game. So a tough schedule ahead of us. We're going to have to put this one behind us. Thanks a lot.